Hello and welcome everybody. Today's video is about the state of BL slash yaoi gacha gaming. Yes, it may get a little bit steamy, but because I don't want to get bonked by YouTube, I will not be showing anything explicit. To the left and right of me are games that I found that are marketed as 18 plus games. Naturally, I will did my research and did some digging into whether they actually are what they are marketed as. Some you may recognize, like New Carnival, What in Hell is Bad, Gaia Gay, and Gatorado, and then some others you may not have heard of, like Crave Saga, another Eidos of Dragon Vein R, and Noctilucent. When I started playing Gaia Gay, I thought it was pretty interesting at first. You know, it's a little different from the usual Bando only games. They have full models of basically all the characters, so it's not like the little chibis that you usually get when you're playing like the turn-based games, yeah? And the main character is customizable. Now, that doesn't mean like the little very fine details. Basically, you can just like choose a pre-made avatar. Whereas compared to the other ones, that's the person you're going to be either playing as or viewing the story through. And it's actually, you know, gay. The 18 plus yaoi game that I'm looking for. Now, of course, you know, when there are positives, there are also the negatives. It's a clunky game. I also did like some searching on like the forums and stuff like that for the game. A lot of people said it was clunky and I do kind of agree. Of course, and there's lots of dialogue. So if that's something you're not really a big fan of, that is definitely something to watch out for if you decide you want to play Gaia Gay. And people have also said that they're stingy when it comes to, you know, the premium currency for, you know, what you need to do for like pulls and stuff like that. So those are definitely things you want to watch out for. But overall, I would say if I had to give this like a rating out of 10, I would say it's a solid 7. Yeah, solid 7. Next on the list is Crave Saga. Now, I will admit, when I initially played this, I played the Safe for Work version, so I did go back and do it all again through Arrow Labs, where it has the not Safe for Work version. And I mean, if this image right here doesn't tell you enough, I don't know what to tell you. So, some of my thoughts about Crave Saga. It has some nice art. It does. Now, the art style may not be for me, but it may be for you. Very cartoon anime. You know what I'm saying? You look at something like New Carnival, and then you compare it to Crave Saga in like terms of art, it's more cartoony for Crave Saga. And Crave Saga is the 18 plus that you're looking for, but only on the Arrow Labs version. Other places like Joren, that's the Safe for Work version. Make sure that if you want the very sexy images, make sure that you go to Arrow Labs for it. And as usual, some things I didn't like. It's very, very heavily isekai based. Spoilers for those who haven't played it and want to play it. The main character, he died saving a child and was hit by a truck and was sent to another world. Of course, you can say that most of these 18 plus yaoi games are like that, which is true, but I think this one took it to like the next level of actually like doing the whole truck-kun thing. There's also not a lot of body type variation with the obtainable character. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's not. Because there is a market out there for people who want more plus-sized male body, because a lot of males in any kind of game, not just like the husbando only, but in any kind of game, they're more like lean, muscular, and fit. I can understand why they decided to mainly do that. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have those kinds of body types in Crave Saga, they do. But it's mostly about like these bara, big-bodied men. So if you're into that, go ahead and do some Crave Saga. They also have some furries in there as well, if you're into that as well. And of course, they also defaulted to the typical chibi fights. When are we gonna get more where like they have full body models? I'm not hating on chibis. They're nice, especially when they're done well, but sometimes we want to, you know, see their actual bodies. And as I mentioned that it is 18 plus if you do the Arrow Labs version, unfortunately, it's pixel cock. Yeah, I know, big sad, but hey. It's okay. At least we get something, right? Next on our list is What in Hell is Bad. Now, I was very excited for this game when Pretty Busy was announcing it basically. I was like, wow, we might actually get something pretty good. Yeah, no. Now, of course, some positives about it. They do have a more intimate interaction system with your preferred sins and demons, which in my opinion, I like, because mostly it's more like you tap and give them gifts. Now, I'm basing that off my experience with New Carnival and gacha. It was more like you tap and give them gifts to make them happy. So I was very appreciative that it was more intimate, that you can like do more stuff with them. And of course, you know, it's husbando only. Now comes the unfortunate part. The pull rates are abysmal. If you know Fate Grand Order, it's probably around there. Like, it is appalling just how bad it is. And spending in the game is very expensive. You get so little for how much you spend. Now, I didn't spend anything, but reading about people posting about how they've basically gotten stuff and it didn't really feel worth the price. And then I believe later on, Pretty Busy changed the prices for like packs and things like that, and it became worse. So now people are complaining that it just doesn't feel worth it. Oh, and the gameplay. Now, I was very interested because usually with a lot of husbando only games, it's either rhythm or you tap here, and that's basically it. So like card gameplay, or if you look at New Carnival, a pretty successful 18 plus game. That's what you typically get. Now, of course, you also get like the battle ones as well, but it was something different because it was basically a tower defense. So something similar to like Ark. However, for the most part, the gameplay was very unbalanced because at the beginning, it would be relatively easy to get through, and then it would suddenly hike up in difficulty. Whether you were doing the main story or you were getting resources to level up your sins and demons. And to add on to that, it is pretty grindy from the get-go. Like, you need to grind a whole lot just to get your sins and demons to higher levels. And then inconsistent art styles. Now, I'm only mainly focusing on Satan because with the other sins and demons, it seemed pretty okay. But that one was just very hard to get over because you would compare his in-story sprite with his cards and you would see a very noticeable difference. Why they never changed that or rectified it, I don't know, but that is the unfortunate reality. Now, there are probably other ones that may have inconsistent art style, but not that I've seen, as I got pretty much fed up with the very unbalanced gameplay, the terrible rates, how expensive it is to purchase anything in the game, and of course, as I mentioned, art style, until I stopped playing basically. Now, we all know it was marketed as an 18 plus game. It's not. I'm just cutting to the chase right there. It is not. It is more 17 plus. So sure, they show some teases here and there, but you never actually see anything. And I remember searching around to see where we could actually get the 18 plus stuff. And I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but most people believe that you needed to purchase something in order to get the 18 plus. I don't know if that's changed now. I haven't been able to get an actual answer, but so far as I know, you can only do it through purchasing something in order to get the 18 plus. So unfortunately, the game is more 17 plus. And the big reason that it's not inherently BL/yaoi, if you were playing during like the first few weeks, you would see that the game was originally intended to be otome. For those who don't know what otome is, it's a female main character with, I guess you could say, only male love interests. So yes, it was not originally intended to be BL/yaoi. And now we have Gay Dorado. I think this is gonna be a very quick one because I will be honest, the only thing it really had going for it was the gay aspect. Otherwise, looking through forums and through my own experience, there's really no kind of gameplay. Like, it just auto does it for you. So you know how games typically have auto battles and stuff like that? The game just automatically does that for you. Like there's no way to like switch it off. The story has so many grammatical errors that it really takes you out of the immersion. And according to others in the forums, they say it is just a money trap compared to other games like I've mentioned, like gacha. And to finish off, it is basically a dress-up game. That's really it. Oh, what do we have here? Everybody's favorite, New Carnival. It is actually 18 plus and yaoi, very husbando only. It actually has a good storyline going for it, because even though I haven't played in a while, I still want to go back and experience more of the story, which is very good to have for a game that you want to last a long time, because even if people don't play as consistently as they used to, they will still come back for story updates. And it has great art. And when I say great art, I mean great art. Like, it's so nice to look at, and it makes you want to collect more of the characters and like unlock the special art that they have in events. And with all good things, there comes the bad. The rates are not great. We all know it's not. It is like very expensive to do a 10 pull. You need to save up 6,000 to do a 10 pull, which is crazy. And the premium currency in-game is expensive, especially since you have to go through Arrow Labs to get 8 coins in order to spend in-game for it. So there's like extra layer added onto that. And after a while, the gameplay gets pretty monotone. Now again, there's only so much you can do when you have the game set up the way it is, but they do sometimes add in like strategy in the events so you don't get completely bored, but for the most part it's pretty much you auto battle and let it go. There's nothing really to do for you unless that you yourself want to get in there and like do your own thing. And as I mentioned before with What in Hell is Bad, with their interaction system with the characters, New Carnival is the exact thing that I was describing before, where you basically just tap to give them gifts. There's no really interaction there. And I think we all would prefer to have a bit more interaction with our favorite guys, especially when they give them such personality. And so if you're listening, creators of New Carnival, please do. Another Eidos of Dragon Vein are... yeah. Moving on. And last on our list is Noctilucent. Now, please bear in mind, these are just my observations as the game has not been released, and everything that I say here may change, and some of the positives may actually be negatives, and vice versa. So, from what I've observed, it seems that Noctilucent may actually be Yell. Now, will it be 18 plus? That remains to be seen. It does seem to be husbando only, as they've posted some stuff on their Twitter, like the relationship chart with the characters. As you can see on their website, they explain basically what the story is, and if I had to guess, I would believe that all of these people are descendants of people from the Cursed Kingdom. The art is very beautiful. I would say it's better than New Carnival, not gonna lie. So I am very much looking forward to other stuff in the game that they make, like backgrounds and NPCs and what the cards are gonna look like, or other outfits like what New Carnival does. And there are varied male body types. Now, when I say that, I mean in terms of muscular, lean, fit, or twink looking. Unfortunately, I don't think there are bara men, and obviously there are no furries. So I'm sorry to those who are into those, but Crave Saga does have that for you, if that's what you're looking for. So there's definitely something for everyone. If you're more into the slender and lean, or muscular and fit. So I'm very intrigued to see if they are going to add more or keep it as is. Now, this isn't necessarily an instant bad thing, but when you go on their website, they actually have a pretty good song that plays, and I've been thinking about it for a while now. But the point that I was trying to make here is that voice acting may only be in Japanese. Now, like I said, that's not a bad thing. It's just something to consider if you do end up playing it. And once again, chibi turn-based gameplay strikes again. They have uploaded a short YouTube video about the gameplay, and going off my observations from it, the gameplay doesn't seem all that interesting. Now again, as I said, things can change as the game is still in development, so for all we know, the gameplay may get better. They may or may not decide to move away from chibi and give more of a full body or at least half and half. They may include other voice acting like English, Chinese, Korean, but we do know that they will have translations in other languages, including English. Hello everyone, Post Ikrivan here. So, while I was making the video, some new information about Nakalucid had come out, and it is regarding the summoning. So let's watch it together. Looks pretty. As you can see, this is how the summoning is going to look like. And if we go back to when they showed like different colors for rarities. Yep, just keep going. And here. So as you can see, it looks like the SSRs are going to be in a purple color compared to like the usual orange and gold. And the rare or normal is going to be blue, and the SRs are probably going to be green. So this is something to watch out for if you're very used to, you know, the pulls like the SSRs being like orange gold compared to how this is going to be, which is purple. But also the animation was kind of, you know, slow going, and that would definitely be a little hurdle for people who, you know, quickly just want to get through their pulls. So I do hope that they, you know, make it a little bit faster, but again, it's still pretty. And I think that's like going to be like a little bit of an issue because after a while the pretty wears off and it's like you kind of just get to it. But why is there so little focus on the BL and yaoi scene? There really is no secret that there is a market for women and men that want games centered around males. We have quite a number of husbando only, and they have been cropping up slowly but surely. However, this cannot be said for the more explicit side. We can speculate that companies are afraid of breaking into this market because it may not match their brand. Now, we're not their target audience. They're pretty content with their male target market and producing games mainly for them. 3. They see no profit to be made from us. Now, we all know that is not true. We would buy the heck out of BL and yaoi things if we were given the chance to. Because I know there have been people out there buying new Carnival merch when they are able to. So it's not like there is no profit to be made. They're just not seeing it enough because there's only so little things for us to consume, you know? And number 4, seeing there isn't a lot of demand from us consumers, which I feel is half true, half not. There are a lot of us out here that do want more BL and yaoi focused games. And we do want it, but not everybody is as vocal as their friends and others. Now, it could be a combination of things. For all we know, it could be all of them. And that could be the main reasons why we have so little games compared to their husbando-only counterparts. Of course, not to forget their female counterparts. So I took it upon myself to do a survey. It was very short, and depending on how you answered, you'd either have very few or a short amount of questions to answer. And so, as you can see here, for what is your gender, 46% actually are male, 37 female, and 16 non-binary. Now, I was very surprised to see this, that most of the respondents on the survey were actually male. I was expecting a lot more females than males, so seeing this percentage really shocked me. And then next, do you play husbando-focused gacha games? 52% said yes, 33% no, and 15% used to. And then next we have you played an 18 plus gacha game? A whooping 39% said no. And I'm actually not surprised because some people just aren't into that, and that is okay. 36% said yes, and 25% said they haven't found the right one. And going off of the last choice, would you play an 18 plus BL gacha game if it was the right one? 99% said yes they would, and 1% said no. And so in one of the questions that I had on my survey, I essentially asked respondents to tell me how they feel about the lack of 18 plus BL games in the market. And as you can see here, someone said they don't like it at all and everything is too hetero-centered anyway, and then they just want more kinds of queer content. And I can understand that, especially since they said that they are a trans girl boy, more on the guy side. And of course, these kinds of people do want more representation in media, not just in games, all kinds of media. Someone else said, too bad compared to the thousands of straight male-oriented waifu gacha games, which I also agree with. There is a lot of male-oriented waifu games, and I also chose this comment because they mentioned what in hell is bad, where they know that there is so little and they try to squeeze every single penny out of its consumers, which is very true. I do remember looking around and seeing people complaining about the first event where it was very, very paywalled. And this comment, they said they do enjoy the erotic scenes and they get turned away is that the gameplay is often something like just click on the character or connect 3, which is what I mentioned before, is that what a lot of not just the 18 plus games but also the Husbando only games. And I too would play an 18 plus BL game if there was something like Genshin or Arknights. And this person here brought up a very good point that they all seem to be focused on the same stereotypes, character types. They play as a bottom, same tropes as most BL media that I'm tired of. I do agree with that actually. I've read and played a lot of BL and BL visual novels and stuff like that, and the tropes are very much the same. Like you have your top that the bottom is pursuing and stuff like that, or like you have the tsundere. I mean, of course, that goes for all media where like it's some of the same tropes, but mainly speaking about the BLC, it's very, very much the same. And this person, they said there should be more, but they would appreciate if they had some good plot or fighting systems. And they mentioned New Carnival, where the game is still beautiful, but the plot and fights got boring that they quit. And the main reasons that they think they're so far and few in between is because they aren't even made with the intent of having appealing boys, but just to fulfill our fantasies. And I can definitely concur with that. And this person says they have no preference whether the game is 18 plus or not, as long as it's queer and has good story and character. But they would definitely like to see more survive, as there's a noticeable lack of them out there. And it is very unfortunate to find an 18 plus gacha that is not straight harem. So what does any of my research of this topic even mean? At the end of the day, it's up to consumers to show there is demand for something, that we do want more 18 plus BL yaoi games. But the current state of 18 plus BL games is predatory, more so because there is very little competition. Two perfect examples, as mentioned before, are New Carnival and now What in Hell is Bad. Now, of course, you can argue that most gacha games are predatory, what I hear from the Fate Grand Order side, but it hurts even more when it's a niche that we love because we have no other games to turn to. Whereas with other games, oh, they have so many choices. So the best we can do, even get a small chance of change from these game devs, to show that we won't let them sap away our money at expensive prices at such horrid rates. And yes, I know, it's very hard when some people, they still essentially feed these companies their money. But if we can all just continue to voice our displeasure and demand change, maybe just possibly something will change, even if it's small. I'm very much holding out hope for Noctilucent, that has yet to release, that they treat their player base better. It seems so far polished with everything that I've looked through. Of course, there isn't much, but even then. But the devs are taking more time to make it better, unlike pretty busy with what the hell is bad. If you were there during release day, it was an absolute fucking dumpster fire. Shit show, if you will. So here I am hoping that Noctilucent can set a new precedent for 18 plus BL gacha gaming. And thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope this gave you a bit of insight into how things are going in the 18 plus BL gacha gaming world, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this as well in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching, and this helps not just us but other game devs to see that we do want more games. We're not going to just sit there and let things continue to be predatory towards us because of the very little competition. Bye!